Hello, this is Lindsay. Welcome back to my channel. I'm pretty excited about today's video. It is sponsored by Avalon Rose Designs, and I came across her website. She has beautiful printables and design graphics, absolutely to die for. So this is very much like an Etsy archaeology series, except I'm not calling it Etsy archaeology because she doesn't have an Etsy shop. She has a website, and she also sells some of her elements on Creative Market, which is another site kind of like Etsy. Anyway, she has this huge promotion going on right now called the Big Deal Design Bundle, and there are 54 listings that you get. And if you bought them all separately, it would be like $407. But if you buy them anywhere between now and October 17th, it's only $19 for all of it. And I am telling you, it is worth every single penny and more. So I'm going to show you some of what you get and talk about everything that you get and show you some of the stuff I've done with it. Totally incredible. Her links are below in the description box. So I'm going to go through quickly what is involved, and then some of the ones I printed, there's no way I could print everything. It took me days just to download everything onto my computer because I was doing it in between doing other things. So I'd go and I'd start a download and then I'd come back and move it. And with 54 different things to download, it took a while. So there are paper texture packs like the Sumptuous Pastel paper textures, regular price $8. There's overlays, there's vintage graphics, textures, flourishes, vector design elements, paper textures, painted textures, fonts, antique photos, watercolor landscapes, there's hand-drawn words and overlays, circus graphics, wood textures, vintage beetles, butterflies, and bees. And I looked at this one. I didn't print any of them because they're more like design elements. And what's really neat is she has them available in like different, like I opened, these ones might not have been, but some of these, like the paper textures and the different things, you can get them in PNG, so you can just print them. You can get them in like all different types of file formats so that you can use them. You can open them in different file formats, so you can use them in different programs and things like that. But what's really neat about the butterflies and the bees is they're just little PNG images that you can either like digital stamp print on a page, or you can use in your design elements if you make journal digital stuff. There's frame mock-ups. Those are really cool. They're like a digital frame, so you could put your digital artwork into it, and then it shows it off really well when you upload it to Etsy. Yeah, more textures and papers and logos. The Vintage Paper Creator is super awesome. There are like top, bottom, and the sides that have different vintage paper textures. And so if you're used to Photoshop or whatever, you can pull them all in there and mix and match till you make the perfect vintage paper that you like. And everyone can be different. There's so many different combinations. Some of these I'm going to show you because I've printed a ton, but there's postcards, save the date graphics, Victorian graphics, floral stuff, peacock feathers, Gothic rose vintage paper, 54 different, and each one, some of these have hundreds of images per. Some of them don't have as many, some of them only have, you know, several, and some of them have, you know, dozens or hundreds of images in just one, or well over 100. So I'm going to show you a couple of things that I printed out and my idea of using them. This one here is the, oh gosh, it's going to take me too long to find exactly which one it is. It's like the Wildwood. It's like hand-drawn. I think it's Wildwood something, but I'm not going to waste your time trying to find exactly which one it is because you're going to get all of them when you buy it. So there are all these, I printed 2 different ones, but there are dozens of them, and they are all like these, all different ones like these. And let me get these out of the way so they're not distracting you so I can talk about what I did here. So I've done some digital stamping. They're all like these hand-drawn, just in black. They're perfect design elements if you're someone who uses Photoshop or something like that to design digital junk journal kits and things like that. You can use those for layering, but what I've done here is a super simple version for people who can print, but they don't want to use a lot of ink And this is just digital stamping. And all I did was print it in the corner of the page. And so when you fold your paper, and you can print it on colored paper, you can print it on scrapbook paper. I just printed it on white paper here. You could coffee dye it. But as you print it here, and these are your journal pages, you would have this in the corner like a digital stamp. I've done the same thing here. But I've only printed 2 of them. Like I said, there's all sorts of different ones, and they're so beautiful. And they'd be really pretty to take like colored pencils or watercolors and color them in. And that would use less ink on your printer and more personal hand touch artistic. So I think that is super, super beautiful and just simple. You know, I like simple and understated. So that is an example of one thing. And then she has something called Instant Ancestors. I'm trying to grab it here over to the side. My laser printer has been printing this weird line here, and I need to figure out why it hasn't been printing the best, but it's still totally fine for me. These are junk journals. My opinion, everything does not have to be perfect, but you get an idea. These are called Instant Ancestors, and they're all these vintage images of like different family members and kids and families, and you know, you guys will love these for your vintage journals. And if I hadn't mentioned before, all of these come with unlimited commercial use as well. So you don't have to worry about if you can use these to sell in your journals or to create digital kits or images. Pretty much you are getting hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth, you know, over $400 worth of items for less than $20. And yeah, this would take you forever to use everything. So here's all these cute little vintage ancestors. I printed them like this because I want to cut them out, back them on coffee dyed paper, maybe sew around them, and stick them in my journals. So this is very much the same way that I make my ephemera sheets, my ephemera packs that you see on my site. I print them 9 to a page. I love that size. Fits well in a lot of journals, even the smaller journals. And then I can just take my glue stick, back it onto some coffee dyed paper, ink around the edges, or I can print this on a heavier like ivory cardstock, ready to go, stick it right into my journal in a pocket or a tuck spot or something like that. And these images, I mean, I don't know for sure. I might have seen some of them around before, but a lot of these look new to me. Like they're not ones that are in my kits. I haven't seen some of them on Pinterest. Doesn't mean they're not there, but definitely some really cool antique images there. This is one that I hope you will all drool over as I am. 23 pages of vintage postcards. If I print 4 to a page, it printed 23 pages. Each one is different. And there's all sorts of, you know, there's the stamps and the writing and so incredible. I just printed it on some cardstock, and then my goal is, or my plan, just cut it out, ink the edges, and stick them in your journal. So I printed them all out, and I can watch TV if I want to, and cut them all out, ink them all up, and I have postcards for days. Ink the edges a little bit here with this brown Stampabilities ink. And there we go. There's a beautiful little postcard ready to go. These would make great pockets and tuck spots. See, I have to give you a couple ideas to do with all these postcards because just look at all the different ones. Look at how each one is unique. It would take you forever to use all of them. To Sister, a very happy, wishing you a very happy Easter from Sister will write soon. Love, Mary. So there's really neat little, Dear Aunt Dorothy, how are you? I am well and go to school every day. I hope you have a very happy birthday from your niece, Ruth. So there's some really cute little sayings, each one. And then there's some that are blank or that don't have a lot of writing as well. But most of them do. I'm not going to show you all of them because it would take forever, but they're beautiful. So pockets, tuck spots, you glue down these 3 edges here or sew on the 3 edges and you have a tuck spot, like a postcard tuck spot. You can use them as collage elements on your pages as well, and you can rip them and use different parts as collage elements as well. So Postcards for Days. Now, my printer really messed these up, but I still think that I can give you the idea. These are textures, and they're obviously mostly meant for using in like Photoshop and for layering and stuff like that. But I always like to think outside the box, and I opened the PNG files of this. My printer really messed up on this one. I think I need to change an ink or something because there's a big line and you can see all that. It's pretty bad. But you can definitely still see. Look at the beautiful textures. This is just two of them. This is like the petals texture. And there were several. I think there were maybe 24 or so different ones that all went along with this color scheme. So how beautiful in a journal if you have all these pages like this printed out like that. So gorgeous. Or you can use in doing your digital journal kits. So what I also wanted to show you, I created this in Photoshop. Now, it's nothing to really boast about because I kept it simple. There's only 4 layers, 4 elements here, and they're all from this bundle. So I took this background from one, it's called Seamless Vintage Paper Textures, and I chose that from that collection. And then she has ledger papers, and she has papers, and then she has ledger overlays. So I took one of the overlays and I overlaid it on this, and then she has these hand-drawn flourishes, and I did a corner here, and then this one coming off this side. I printed it borderless on my Epson. When you fold it in half and put it in the journal, this is how it would look. This page I put on my Facebook group as a freebie, and you can save that and print it in your journals, and the link to her shop is also in that post, so go over to my Facebook group. You can check the description box below to see how to get there. And I like how it came out because I'm a fan of simple. And I just wanted to show you, I used 3 different of her listings, and these are from the same listing, and then the overlays from another one, and the paper texture is from another one. And I just put them together super simple and created something totally new. And the possibilities are endless. So I have one more set that I want to show you. And this one I hope I saved the best for last for all of you vintage journal lovers and collage sheet lovers and fussy cutting lovers out there. This one is Victorian Images, and there are 16 collage sheets, and I printed them on cardstock so I can just fussy cut them out and glue them in the journals. But look, I just want to show you each and every page of these because I think you're going to love them as much as I do. Look at how cute. Each one of these you can cut out, and there are 16 pages of them. They are so adorable. So I really believe that there is something for everyone in this design bundle kit from Avalon Rose Designs. If you are not really computer savvy, then you can just print them as is, and at least most of them. There are some like fonts and like save the date, hand-drawn wedding words, things like that. You can still just print some of those, and you don't have to worry about designing and collaging. Or if you do like to fiddle around with collage and stuff like that, collaging things in Photoshop or on whatever program that you use, there are also a ton of options for you as well. And that's why I tried to print a few different ones. Now, I only used everything that I've shown you. I only used, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I used images from 8 different listings, and I didn't even print all of them. And there are 54 different ones. So as you can see, all of these painted papers, painted paper textures graphite, painted paper textures storm, painted papers textures agate, painted paper textures petal. I feel like these are tongue twisters. These are the petal ones, textures petal. Okay, but there's a lot more than just these two. Each of these can all just be printed out. You don't have to know Photoshop. You can just hit print and they will print gorgeous. Vintage paper textures dreamscape. I mean, there's so many. Vintage paper textures apothecary. I just wish that I had the time to print everything out and just show you, but this video would be like 10 hours long because there's so much. And I am not just saying this because this video is sponsored. She sent me all of these for free, but I was going to purchase this bundle anyway. Even if she hadn't sent them to me, I was still going to purchase this bundle because it is an incredible deal. I started looking through these listings and I would click on them and I would see, and you can see all of these are clickable. So when you go to the link down below, click on each one, read about it, see, she shows examples. You see exactly what you are getting. So even though I can't show you all of them, you can click on each and every one of these and see. And as I started clicking, and then it would say, you know, like 48 papers, and it would show it. And then the next one would be like 36 papers, you know, 100 papers or whatever. I mean, I only got part of the way in and I'm already like, this is worth way more than $19. This is crazy. I have to have this. And so I thank Avalon Rose for sponsoring this video. And I hope that lots of you get this because I really think it's going to add some fresh new designs into our journals. And check out some of her other listings as well because she is just such a beautiful, she has such a beautiful design, what is the word I'm looking for? Like, her style. That's an easy word. It's such a beautiful design style that I really, really connect with. And I hope to use, and I know I will use all of these over and over and over and over and over again in my journals, but I hope to get more of her images and start a real collection of Avalon Rose. And I know you're going to be seeing a lot of her stuff in my journals because I fell in love. So I hope each and every one of you do too. I've been talking and babbling now for almost 17 minutes. So I'll see you all in the next video.